Let me say that it's great to be here at a particularly good announcement. I want to thank Mayor Bertucelli for his incredible advocacy. I want to tell you that when the mayor gets you on the phone, he doesn't let you off until you basically say, yes, I understand, we're gonna make it happen. So he is a tremendous advocate for this community, and certainly working with the members of the council, created a project that was very worthy of being an advocate for. Because one thing is to seek money, the other thing is to have a project that is worthy of being able to advocate for. It makes it a lot easier. So I want to thank his leadership. I appreciate our state director of the USDA for Rural Development, Howard Henderson. I told the assistant secretary that, in fact, he does a tremendous job. And I didn't know about that whole history, notwithstanding that he does a tremendous job, as evidence that he's here today. And we appreciate him and the members who work with him of the staff. They do a fantastic job for us in New Jersey. And I certainly appreciate the Deputy Undersecretary for Rural Development, Secretary Cook, for being here and for bringing good news with us. I'm thrilled to be with the State Senate President and Freeholder Director, Steve Sweeney, as well as all of the other elected officials here, and most particularly my colleague in the U.S. House of Representatives. I had the privilege of serving with him when I was in the House before I went to the United States Senate. You couldn't have a more intelligent, forceful, effective advocate for the people of the congressional district he represents than Rob Andrews. And on education, on national security, on economic development, when Rob speaks, people listen. And I know, because I used to chair the Democratic caucus, and he didn't used to get up all the time, but when he did, the rest of the caucus was pretty silent. And if you know those 200 plus 18 members at that time, it's greater now, to keep them quiet was a difficult proposition because they all wanted to chatter about something. So Rob, thank you for your advocacy. I'm proud to celebrate an important investment for the people of Paulsboro. More than $4 million in loans and grants provided by the USDA. Paulsboro will now have the resources to complete construction of a new water treatment facility that will serve thousands of homes and over 100 businesses, as well as the new Paulsboro Port, which when completed will serve, as we've heard, as a catalyst for economic growth throughout the region. 2 years ago, I helped the borough secure almost $2 million for the construction of the water treatment plant. What more was needed, as the studies show that we needed a more sophisticated project. And of course, the mayor didn't hesitate to call and say, I need more. And today we are proud to say that thanks to the help of so many, we are moving forward. For the families living here, this isn't just another building funded by some obscure government program. It is about the quality of life. Too often we hear from many people question the role of government. This municipality, on its own, could simply not do this. It just simply could not do this. And this is an example of the federal government coming to respond for what is an investment in economic development, an investment in the lives of people who live in Paulsboro, and the opportunity for a greater future. I think one of the most fundamental roles we can all agree that government has, one of the things we can expect our government to do, is to be certain that everyone has access to clean, potable water. When we turn on the faucet for a glass of water or to wash a piece of fruit, we expect that water to be as safe and clean as possible. Most of us take clean water for granted, but those who live in areas of increased risk, the risk and the uncertainty is unsettling. It's simply unacceptable for the greatest country on earth not to be able to provide its citizens with such basic necessities. Not only will this funding make the drinking water safe for thousands of homes in the area, it will help make Paulsboro, Gloucester County, and the whole region competitive. It will spur the Paulsboro Port Project and the economic development that comes with it, potentially creating thousands of jobs. It's a $250 million project that will be a major economic boost for the region, creating in excess of 2,000 permanent jobs along with 900 construction jobs, and it will bring in about $2.5 million in revenue annually. That's all part of what we are creating the opportunity. Today it has a multiplier effect for our investment. And with high unemployment rates persisting in the area, we need to do everything that we can to create jobs. We need to do all we can to provide relief to families still struggling to weather this economic storm. And we need to do all that we can to make the port project a success. So from fixing an antiquated water system and ensuring water is reliable and safe for our families, to creating jobs and turning the page on this recession, this project is a win-win for everyone, not just in Paulsboro, but for this area as a whole. Let me again close by thanking the USDA for agreeing with my recommendation to fund this project. This is a rural part of the state. I have to remind my colleagues in the U.S. Senate and sometimes in the federal agencies that New Jersey is called the Garden State, and there is a reason it is called the Garden State. It is not only great cities, but it also has a very significant rural component to it. And sometimes that is a challenge as we deal with formulas and definitions to understand that reality. So I appreciate the work of the department in understanding this. And I look forward to working with the department to ensure that future needs of New Jerseyans in rural areas are met. This is an example of what the federal government can do to help local communities rebuild antiquated infrastructure systems that are essential to the health and safety of our families, that are essential for raising the opportunity for economic development, but are too expensive to be supported simply by a community's tax base. That's the kind of project that defines what government can do with working with partnership with local communities. It represents the best of what we can do and we can all pull together to achieve. So I salute the mayor's vision. I salute his effort. I'm glad to be part with my colleague Rob Andrews in making it happen. And I'm glad, unlike other news that we are receiving today, I'm glad that this is federal money that will stay in New Jersey. It's a tough fight for federal dollars. We have a project in another part of the state that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. A new Trans-Hudson Rail Tunnel, $3 billion of the federal government, the largest federal commitment in the history of the United States, creates 6,000 construction jobs for 8 years and 40,000 permanent office and professional jobs after that. Takes 22,000 cars off the roads of New Jersey, which means we are emitting less into the air that we collectively breathe in a state that has too high an incidence of cancer. Raises property values dramatically in that entire region, and would create the opportunity for future growth. You can't grow if you're stuck. You can't grow if you don't have a water system that ultimately allows you to bring in businesses and opportunity. And we are stuck in another part of the state, the northern part of the state, dramatically. So it's so frustrating to me to hear that the governor will shortly announce that he is canceling that project, even though that project, as of August of this year, is on budget. On budget, not over budget, on budget. Even though the U.S. Secretary of Transportation at my request came and gave a series of options that would ensure that there would be no future extra costs to the state of New Jersey, either in design changes or public-private partnerships. And so, it's going to make the application and the race to the top for education funds that we lost $400 million for our children, because if you want to act tough with teachers but not include them in the application process, that cost us 14 points. We would have easily been in the top tier. We would have had $400 million for education on the state. Now we're going to lose another $3 billion. That's not the way you create jobs and economic opportunity. It's not the way that you create prosperity for the future. But at least today, here in Paulsboro, there is enlightened leadership that understands how you do create prosperity and opportunity for the future. And that's why it may be raining outside, but it's shining in here. Thank you so much for having me.